You think I missed a trick by not tying this to the proper Star Fox series? You could just assume that you're playing as James McCloud, son of Fox McCloud, and you're trying to escape this alternate dimension that Andros sent you, and never mind, it's not even worth it. Alright, so I wasn't going to touch this initially, but I've got a slot left, so why not? This is Star Fox, released in 1983 for the Atari 2600 video computer system, courtesy of Mysticon. And for years, it's been believed that Mysticon owning the trademark in Europe was the reason why 20 years later, Nintendo would rename their own Star Fox games to other names like Star Wing or Lilat Wars. And then somebody else confirmed it was actually because of a German company called Star Vox, or something like that. Look, none of that matters, okay? Because the presumed history was what gained Star Fox on the VCS some notability, for lack of a better term. But if you actually play it, you'll find that it's rather undeserved. So the idea behind the game is that you fly a ship, you shoot down other ships that will pop up and attack you, and you are constantly seeking out little white dots, which I presume are either people, minerals, whatever, and you land your ship on the ground to pick it up. But while you're on the ground, all horizontal movement is halted. You could go up and down, but you cannot move left or right while you're on the ground, so you need to take off quickly, or else your one solitary foe will bomb you from existence. Now, according to the box, this can be played with either the joystick or the trackball controller. And maybe the ball is a better bet to play Star Fox, because controlling your ship is like controlling a slippery eel. It's a bit of a chore, a bit of a headache, especially when it comes to trying to land your ship on top of the flashing dots, because your ship simply moves too fast, and it becomes a pain to properly gauge whether you're landing the thing properly. As in, over the dot so you could pick it up and not inches away from it, or whatever the case may be. Barring that, you're just moving back and forth, looking for a ship to blow up and a little flashing dot to collect for the big 200 points. Every couple thousand points, enemies get more aggressive. There are 3 modes of play for 1 or 2 alternating players each, a practice mode, a normal mode such as it is, and a more difficult mode where ramming into ships will kill you. In a normal mode, ramming into ships will actually kill them. So nothing really special in terms of the game modes. Now, the gameplay as a whole is rather unimpressive, and the slippery controls do not help matters in the slightest. But then we get to the awful sound, which I've deliberately muted and replaced with more pleasant music from the more famous Star Fox games, but I will let you suffer this audio for 5 seconds. Enjoy. And that's about enough of that. Now, if you could stomach that sound for more than 5 minutes, then you have my utmost sympathies, because that is god-fucking awful. If it isn't chaotic beeps and blops and bleeps and blips, it's this constant static thing that plays throughout non-stop when your ship is not firing. Hence why you're holding down the fire button to fire your constant laser beam, because it does fire a constant laser beam, and not only does it save your thumbs, but it also saves your ears. This is just awful. And no, just because you could toss a couple gradients on screen doesn't mean you have a pristine game on hand. And no, the game, even with this, does not look all that impressive. It's just somewhat bland looking, even by Atari standards. I do like that in your lives counter, your ship will look like an obscene gesture of sorts. It sums up how I feel about this game as a whole. Bottom line, Star Fox sucks on the 2600. Stick with the Nintendo version. Enough said. Good night. Oh, and something barrel roll or something. Look, I don't care. I'm done. Good night.